Okay, I hope you have finished the second diagram too. Now you finish the third diagram. Circular sedimentation basin. Over. Done. झालं का?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll go to the next point, that is coagulation. Coagulation with sedimentation. So first of all, you should know what is the coagulation. Coagulation is a chemical. By using this coagulation, we can neutralize the charge present upon the particle when they are in a sedimentation tank. Okay. And when we are adding coagulants in a water for sedimentation process, at that time we can say that kind of sedimentation is a sedimentation aided with coagulation. Sedimentation aided with coagulation. Okay. Now, to remove very fine particle, what purpose we need to go for the sedimentation with coagulation? To remove very fine suspended particles and colloidal particles. So at the start itself, I told you there are different types of solids present in a water. One is the suspended solid and another is the dissolved solid. Okay, suspended solids again divided into two types. One is the settlable solids, and another is the suspending at the surface. Okay, now in an earlier sedimentation tank, the title of the earlier sedimentation tank, that the plain sedimentation, simply by reducing the velocity of flow, we can allow to settle down the Okay, sedimentation with coagulation. Here, when the fine particles will not be settled down in a plain sedimentation tank, these types of particles used to float along with the water flow. At that time, we need to increase the mass of such particles, and that can be possible by adding the coagulants in water. Okay, so these coagulants will neutralize the charge present upon the particle and will perform the agglomeration process. Agglomeration process in the sense, multiple particles will come together and convert into heavy particle. Once it becomes heavy, we can make them to settle down at the bottom. And when it is converting into heavy particle, that is known as the flock. गठ्ठा तयार होणं, गाठी तयार होणं पार्टिकलच्या. Okay, sedimentation aided with coagulation will see to remove very fine suspended particles and colloidal particles. Certain chemicals called coagulants are mixed with water, which form a gelatinous precipitate called flock, which attracts the fine suspended particles, and then it becomes a heavier, and then we can make them to settle down by the gravity. Okay, so this is nothing but the sedimentation with coagulation. So I request to write down this slide. Write down little fast. Coagulation, sedimentation with coagulation. Finished? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. Little fast, guys. Okay, may I move to the next point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, what are the different coagulants? Function of coagulant you understood. What is the function of coagulant? To react, to neutralize the charge and bring the small particles together and convert them into floc. Okay, that is the coagulation, flocculation we can see. So what are the different coagulants? Usually different types of coagulants are there, but the commonly used coagulants are listed over here, and these are nothing but the first one is the alum. The scientific name is aluminium sulfate, and the chemical formula is Al2SO4 18H2O, also called the filter alum. Okay, then this is very effective one coagulant which can be used on the plant, easily available, cheap, uh, less cost, and the in conversion practice, or we can say it will be effectively work in a wide range of pH of the water. Means from 5 pH to 5 pH to 8 pH, it will work effectively. For in a wide range of pH, it will work effectively. Then copperus, it is also called as the ferrous sulfate plus lime. Okay. Then chlorinated copperus, it is a ferric sulfate. Then sodium sulfate. These are the different types of coagulants which can be used commonly for the coagulation process, coagulation and sedimentation process. Okay. Now the iron salts are used more frequently for treating the sewage, and alum is used for treating the water. There are two types of water treatment. One is the water treatment for drinking purpose, and another is the wastewater treatment. But if we want to go for the wastewater treatment, we can use the iron salts as a coagulant. Whereas for the water treatment, we can use alum as a coagulant. Usually the detention period, what is the detention period now? I think I told you in the first chapter itself. Suppose this is a tank, okay? Water is entering at this spot and leaving from that spot. So from these to this, whatever may be the path the water has taken and then reached here. So how long this period, how much time is required to reach from inlet to exit is known as the detention period, is known as the detention period. So the detention period is the concept for each individual unit operations or unit processes, as well as it may be considered for entire plant too. Okay, so this may be the screening, this may be the aeration process, then this may be the sedimentation tank, then this may be the flocculation tank, and then filtration, and then discharge, likewise this may be the. So I can say the detention period of this tank, or I can also say detention period of this entire plant. ओके, किती वेळ तो पार्टिकल त्या पर्टिक्युलर सिस्टम मध्ये, प्रोसेस मध्ये राहिला, दॅट इज नोन एज द डिटेन्शन पिरियड. आय होप यू अंडरस्टूड. ओके, सो द डिटेन्शन पिरियड ऑफ coagulation process or the coagulation flocculation tank is usually 2 to 4 hours. Okay, and the overflow rate is in the range of 1000 to 1250 liter per hour per meter square for a plain area. Okay, sorry, for a plan area. So simply you remember only this part you can copy. Only this part you can copy. What are the different commonly used coagulants? These are the commonly used coagulants. Only copy this one. And the most popular one coagulant in a water treatment plant is alum. Al2SO4 18H2O, aluminium sulfate. Please copy this one. I go. ओहर रिस्पॉन्ड करेना झालं तुम्ही झोपाल का?
Yes, ma'am. Completed.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, I will explain about this chamber later on. Okay. Okay, I will continue with this only. I thought one more. Okay, now you can flocculation with settling. Okay, how we can go to achieve this flocculation with settling? This is a small tank. You can make it as an inlet channel or inlet chamber. So for what purpose inlet chamber? So through which water will be entered into the tank, first thing. And second thing, there will be arrangement to add the coagulant. So there will be a small pipe provided to add the coagulation. Okay, so the water and coagulation together will be added into this tank, and here in the flocculation chamber there will be a mixer, and it will be keep on mixing continuously. It will be stirring the water, so the coagulant will thoroughly mix into the water. Coagulant will thoroughly mix into water, and slowly it will be allowed to move towards the second chamber of the same tank, and that chamber can be identified as a sedimentation tank, because here we are not disturbing the water. We are not moving, allowing to have the random movements of the water. So what happens because of that? Here the reaction will get completed. The mixing and the reactions will get completed. And when it is passing through this, from this chamber to this chamber, agglomeration process will start. And the agglomeration and subsequently the sedimentation of particle will be starts into this chamber, and the particles very fine which will not has been settled in a plain sedimentation tank will start settling down here in a sedimentation with coagulation process, and then it will go, the clear water can be removed from top and the settled sludge can be removed from the bottom, and this way it will be this removal of the sludge process will not be the regular process. Randomly, once in a week, once in a fortnight, continuous settling process will be keep on going on, and the continuous clear water will be moved out. The inlet and outlet are arranged at the same height. So this is the sedimentation with coagulation process. I hope you understood. May I explain once again? Sedimentation, plain sedimentation, in which we are not using any kind of chemical, but the particles are getting settled down by their own mass and weight, by the gravity. Because these particles are heavier, they can settle down with their individual weight, and that type of settling particles are known as the discrete particle settling or the type 1 settling, or we can say plain sedimentation. But very fine particles which are not being possible to settle down at the bottom by the gravity, they remains in a suspension form. For them, we can use sedimentation with coagulation. In a sedimentation with coagulation process, we can add the coagulants which will start reacting and neutralizing the charge present upon the particle, and hence the particles, multiple particles starts coming together, and it will be converting into flock. So that together the chamber, in this chamber, water and coagulant in a liquid form can be added over here. In a flock chamber, the mixing and conversion of water, conversion of flock can be started, and these flocks can be settled down in a settling chamber. So this is known as the sedimentation with coagulation. Okay. So write down, draw this figure, sedimentation with coagulation. Mohan? प्रियंका उराडे झालं का?
Yes, ma'am.
प्रथमेश बागे नाही झालं का?
येस मॅडम.
झालं?
हा.
Okay. Okay, Nikita Bhagwat said yes. Okay. So I hope you understood what is mean by the flocculation and what is mean by the coagulation is nothing but the simply addition of chemicals or the coagulants named as alum, copperous chloride, ferrous chloride, such kinds of coagulants. And the conversion of the multiple particles into single particle is the process flock formation. Okay, so in the flock chamber, after mixing alum to the water in a mixing basin, it is gently stirred by paddles in flock chamber to build up the flock, and detention time will be 15 to 40 minutes. Depth of the flock chamber is half the depth of settling chamber. Okay, I will go back to the figure here. Here you can see here. Here in this chamber you are mixing together, and here itself you may add the mixer, and or otherwise you can add the mixer in this chamber. But the mixing should be a gentle mixing. It should not be like ha 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 mixing. It should be gentle mixing. So the flock formation process only must perform. Otherwise, if you are mixing with a rapid rate, then what happens? Formed flocks also deformation starts. It will start the deformation of flocks. So that's why it should be the gentle mixing, and then sedimentation in a sedimentation tank. Okay, so this is about the flock chamber. Okay, and the detention time is given you must keep for 15 to 40 minutes. And then flocculation. What is the flocculation? Slow mixing technique which promotes agglomeration of particles. Okay, remember this word, agglomeration of these particles is nothing but the flocculation, flock formation. Okay, slow mixing technique which promotes agglomeration of particles coming together. Multiple particles coming together is known as the agglomeration. Okay, and what is the coagulation? Mixing of coagulants and then formation of supporting to the flocculation process is the coagulation. Okay, so this is about the flocculation and coagulation. Now, how to apply dose and this all this is not that much detail required, but still we will finish it. Let me erase the line over here. Now, doses. How to decide the requirement of doses for the flocculation process? It depends on the amount of turbidity present in water. So firstly, roughly at least you need to find out the turbidity present into water. And then you can decide the dose of coagulants. Average dose for the normal water is 14 milligram per liter. Okay, it is 14 milligram per liter. Optimum alum, all these alum dose, this requirement is given in respect of alum as a coagulant. Optimum alum doses may be determined by using the jar test. What is that jar test? That also I will explain. Alum functions effectively only when pH value lies between 6.5 to 8.5. Iron salts can be used over a wide range of pH values, but it can be used for the sewage treatment, not for the water. That is very heavier, and that much requirement is not there for the water supply engineering. Okay. So remember that you can find out the requirement of dose for the coagulation by using the jar test. So I will explain that jar test in the next lecture. And then we will finish with the jar test. We may finish the second chapter. Okay. Then chemical reactions. What chemical reactions are being performed in a coagulation process? Okay. So Al2SO4 318H2O reacts with the calcium carbonates 3CaHCO3 twice and converts into aluminum hydroxides, calcium sulfate, and water will be there as usual, and carbon dioxide is also getting produced. Then that Al2SO4, that is aluminum, reacts with calcium hydroxide present into water and converts into twice AlOH3 plus thrice CaSO4, that is calcium sulfate, plus 18H2O. One more reaction we can find here, that is aluminum sulfate reacts with sodium carbonate, that is thrice of Na2CO3 plus thrice of H2O, and produces aluminum hydroxide plus sodium sulfate and water and carbon dioxide. Okay, addition of alum to water imparts permanent hardness, and carbon dioxide evolved causes corrosion. Okay, addition of alum to water imparts permanent hardness. Okay, so then presence of alkalinity is necessary for the functioning of coagulants. If raw water is not alkaline, lime and soda ash is added to the water to make the water alkaline. Okay, so this way you can remove the chemical precipitate. When you are adding chemical, that is coagulant, and then it starts reacting with each other and then converting it into the precipitate. So calcium carbonate precipitate will be formed and sodium carbonate precipitate will form, and this precipitate can be settled down. Excuse me. Okay, so such reactions are being performed in a water during the coagulation and coagulation and flocculation process. Okay, now what are the advantages of alum as a coagulant? As I told you, alum as a coagulant reduces taste and odor apart from turbidity. The floc is effective
means effective in the sense enough tough, which will not be getting breakdown easily. Enough tough we can say, म्हणजे सहजच काहीतरी पाण्याला नुसतंच हलवलं आणि तरी पण ते असे स्प्रेड होत आहे असं होत नाही. Okay, they will be enough competent to get settled down. And one more thing is the alum is very cheap. Then disadvantages of alum are difficult to dewater the sludge formed. म्हणजे there is a one more process, okay, that after the sedimentation process, the sludge you are going to remove from the bottom, and the formed sludge you need to dewater, means the water should be separated from that sludge. So that process takes a time because alum is having a tendency to hold the water for a longer period. So it takes a lot of time for the dewatering purpose. It imparts the permanent hardness. It imparts the permanent hardness. Guys, I think less than 1 minute remained to finish.
मॅम हे राईट करायचंय का?